Of 1985, Air India Flight 182 blew up over the coast of Ireland, killing 329 people on board, almost all of them Canadian citizens. In the 25 years since this tragedy, we've had messy court proceedings, a guilty plea, acquittals, a botched investigation, and families still don't know who killed their loved ones in this merciless act. Tomorrow, a federal commission led by retired Justice John Major will issue its long-awaited report on the Air India bombing and what went wrong with the case. I'm joined now by G.A. Easwar, publisher of Desi News. Easwar, this is obviously very much awaited by members of the community, especially the family members of the victims. What is the sentiment? How would you describe it in the community?
It's back to the future, Noman. The prevailing sentiment in the community today, awaiting the report, is one of too little too late. When the tragedy occurred 25 years ago, the Canadian government distanced itself from what happened then, and it happened to Indians, it happened on India's national career, and so and even the then Prime Minister sent a message of condolences to the Indian Prime Minister at that time. So it happened to Indians. Canada did not really feel that it happened to Canadians. But in these 25 years, we have finally come to realize that on that tragic day in June 1985, Canada's age of innocence came to an end, and we have, just ushered in very violently into the dark world of global terrorism. It was long before 9/11, and now everyone wants to know whether there's going to be a closure tomorrow when the report finally comes out.
And talking about that closure, that possible closure and the report, what can we expect from the report, considering we've heard some of the testimony over the last few months?
The report is not going to be about who did what happened. It will be some of that, but mostly it is going to be what can we do going ahead into the future to avoid such a calamity from happening to us. June 23rd, 1985 was Canada's biggest act of aviation terrorism or terrorism of any kind, and this report tomorrow, the final report, will talk about how to tighten aviation security. Cargo screening, for instance, 75% of all air cargo in Canada are moved through passenger jets. Now, how can we improve cargo screening, and more stringent measures that can be taken to do that will be one of the things that you can expect in tomorrow's recommendation. The other recommendation will be about informing the passengers. Can we have real-time data available to passengers on which airline is at this point in time, today, in the next hour, considered to be a security threat? Can that information be available to them freely without compromising other security issues? And so there is going to be regulatory mechanisms that will have to be set into place, and the Justice Major's report will focus on that. We can also expect regulatory mechanisms to be put in place to tighten up the functioning of charitable and non-profit organizations in this country, and how terror financing can be controlled, and whether can it be predicted, whether there are systems in place to prevent that from happening. Justice Major will be is expected to be giving recommendations on giving Canada Revenue Agency greater powers to enforce Canada's financing laws where terror is concerned, and we'll also be looking at giving CRA more teeth, even to conduct secret operations if necessary. But at the end of the day, all these recommendations are only recommendations. What remains to be seen is whether the government has the political will to act upon those recommendations. Especially the Toronto 18 happened, the case of Toronto 18, that happened a good 20 years after the Air India tragedy.
But that was stopped.
That was stopped. So we have learned. But moving ahead, Canada is living in a global, increasingly closer global neighborhood of terrorist acts, and we have to prevent those from happening in the future. And that's what this report is going to be all about.
Thanks so much. We'll definitely look forward to whether these recommendations are implemented. Thank you for coming in
Thank
tonight.
you.